Time we start getting everything ready for the LS. I got a whole bunch of parts in this 74, so let's see what we got. Oh boy. Well, I guess we'll start dragging all this out. Oh, whole box of bolts. Sweet, 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 sweet. Accessories, pulleys, coils. Ooh, there's the computer. Oh, we got here AC compressor. Sweet. Ooh, condenser. Oh yeah. All right, now we're looking good. We're looking good. Water pump, intake manifold. We've got a starter, alternator, a blower box over there. Oh, the hubcaps. All right. I think we're in good shape. This might be a pretty easy swap. All right, I drug everything out of the truck. We got a lot of cool stuff in here. A lot of stuff I wasn't expecting to be in here. For instance, got some manifolds that came with it. That's cool. Truck pan, looks like it's the shallow pan, whereas the one that's on there is the deep pan. So I'm guessing this is maybe the car pan or something along those lines, some sort of variant. I don't know. Never done an LS swap, so this is all new to me. Power steering pump, pulleys, intake manifold, the whole harness. Computers are over here, alternator, the O2 bungs, which we'll probably end up using on our own in some way. AC compressor, starter, which we'll just replace anyways, just because it's an easy thing to do and those can fail. Water pump, we may replace that too, not sure. That one's probably still all right. We'll see how the weak hole looks. And the old manifolds, which we probably won't use. Brackets, overflow tank. Oh, the coils, AC condenser, or I'm not sure, that's not the condenser, it's the other one. I don't know. It's gonna fit in there. And our LS, got the 4L60 back there, but I think we're gonna end up putting this Turbo 400 behind it, just for ease and because these don't have the best reputation. So we'll probably go with that for now. But also came with a tubular cross member. Man, I don't like to pick up on other people's broken dreams, but picking up this truck, that engine and all those swap parts from somebody that just can't follow through with it, or for some reason can't get it done, whether it be family or whatever reason, money or whatever, you end up getting a lot of stuff for cheap. So it kind of works out. A lot of this stuff would have been pretty expensive to come by individually. Get it all together, makes the job pretty easy. Then we can just pull in the truck and start slinging the stuff in there. I think the biggest problems that we'll end up. Okay, I'm sorry. I'll pull you down and put a new one up. Probably be if I had to guess, the cooling system, figuring out whether or not the radiator that's in there will work, but we have to have some sort of steam port. But LMC truck, or EMC squared, has a radiator for the 350 that we can throw in that has both the transmission cooler and a steam port in it. So we'll probably go with that. We ended up putting that one in rusty and it works out really well. So we'll go ahead and try that, I think, for this whole thing, just for ease. We'll get that one ordered up. But yeah, I'm ready to get started on this. All right, I don't know if you can tell by the perspiration on my forehead, but it is hot today. I got a little mayo mustard on my shirt. Anyways, so got this guy up here, thanks to our little friend there. Some skid marks on the ground. What's up here? I'm gonna rinse it off. That way we can start fitting some of this stuff in there. Basically what's happening is we're gonna rinse all this off. We'll put the motor mounts in. I'm gonna go through that engine real quick. I'll pull the oil pan off, make sure that there's no spun bearings or any issues with the rod, stuff like that. We'll throw that new pan on, put the new mounts in, toss it up there, and then we'll start fitting all the rest of this stuff. And I don't think we'll get it in one shot, because we'll have to pull stuff out, replace some stuff, put it back, gaskets, stuff like that. But we'll go ahead and get started with cleaning this thing off first. Welcome back. Got the Lord's peach juice. We're gonna start pulling the gases off of this stuff, get it all cleaned up, pull the oil pan, check out the bottom end. I don't think I'm gonna pull the heads today. I think we're safe enough. If the bottom end looks good, I think the top will be all right. We are gonna check maybe the lifters and stuff like that, but pull the valve covers off and look at all that. Get it cleaned up, put some gaskets in it, throw it in there, see what our alignment looks like so we can throw all these parts on. We also got some new headers, and I think it'll sound pretty good, and it'll look pretty good too. So I'm excited to get this thing in. Let me bring you over and check it out. Let's pull these valve covers off, see what they look like on there. She hasn't been running in a while. Pretty dry. I don't see any broken springs, no junk in here. The engine's actually really clean. Let's see what the other side looks like. All these springs look good too. Keepers all look good. There's no junk in here. Looks great. Looks great. All right, let's flip her over and take the pan off. So we're gonna be putting on a new pan over there. We're not gonna use this deep pan. Give it some clearance under the truck. So it'll be a shallow pan. And I'm not sure if that has something to do with the cross member or what, but it's part of the kit that the previous guy had purchased. Missing some oil pan bolts, so that's fantastic. Hopefully that's somewhere in these bags of things. Not a whole lot of junk in the pan. Pull this windage tray off. I don't see any crap in the screen. See what we got. Chain looks pretty good. There's no scoring on it that I can see anyways. Cam looks like there might be some wear marks, but this is like, I think there was 170,000 miles or 180,000 miles on this engine. Yeah, there's a little bit of scoring on the cam. Actually, no, it just looks like wear. I don't see any actual scarring or scoring. There's a bug in there. Poor fella made its way in there and met his end. The rod ends feel tight, look good. Yeah, I think we might have ourselves a good motor here. Can't really see any scoring on the cylinder wall. Still have all the cross hatching. Oh yeah. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Looks great. It's a beautiful thing. See if we got the crank bolt in here. Turn this thing over in this pile of stuff. No. Crank bolts. Sweet. Sweet, 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 sweet. All right. Well, let's clean up this surface. Put the new pan on. Well, it's got a new pickup tube, new windage tray. We'll throw all that in there. Replace this gasket for the pickup tube. Clean this all up. Tilting it towards me so none of this crap falls down in. It falls away and out. Because you know, getting all this stuff down in the engine, it just ain't good for it. It doesn't like it. All these bearings, journals, passageways, they don't like it. So we're going to try and limit that as much as we can. Even if this is a junkyard engine, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a reliable one for a little while anyways. I think the ultimate plan is what we're going to go with is maybe pick up, so this is L59, this is what they call LS1. I'm learning all this LS stuff. For guys, this is tough for us. It's kind of like a handicap. We're a little bit retarded.
You cut me deep, Shrek. You cut me real deep just now.
But this is L59, LS1. What we're going to end up doing is switching over to LQ9, I think is what the designation is for it. It's the 6 liter. Put the 6 liter in here and maybe some boost. Maybe some boost. I think a turbo on here would be pretty fun and good for towing, provided we can keep it cool. But that's the plan anyway, so we'll get this sucker in there. This L59. I probably still butchered it and somebody's going to correct me in the comments. That's okay though. I enjoyed the criticism. I think one of the important things in life, or one of the important steps of maturing and growing up and what they call self-actualization, is learn that you really don't know anything. I mean, you can have a pretty high knowledge of something, but you don't know everything. And I think some people think they know everything. That's their prerogative, but I don't know that that really helps their character. I think the people that progress with their character the most are the ones that are willing to admit that they don't know everything. It's a good character trait to have. Always learning, always willing to learn. Most of these gaskets on these oil pans are rubber gaskets, so there's not a whole lot to scrape off, but I'm just getting, looks like there's some residual or some baked on oil around it that I'm getting off. That's all we're doing. All right, ready for this gasket. All right, I picked up these gaskets from O'Reilly's. I ordered a Mahle gaskets. So these LS engines, from what I'm told, they really, really only like the factory gaskets. Everything else seems to fail, especially Felpro, which when I was growing up and doing everything, Felpro used to be the best that ever existed, but apparently it's not. I've been out of the game for a little bit. But so Mahle, I guess, makes the gaskets for like Dodge and a whole bunch of other companies. I really haven't looked into it that much. But that was the next best thing to the GM gasket. The only reason I didn't get the GM gasket kit was because you had to order each gasket individually. They didn't have like a kit for the entire engine, or at least that I couldn't find anyway. So got the Mahle gaskets. We're going to throw those in. I need to find the gasket for the pickup tube, and we'll throw that in before I tighten all this down. Alright, get a little oil on this guy. Plop them back in. Bloop. Like a glove. Alright, new windage tray. Oh, the new pan came with a gasket. Ooh, we'll save this one for later. Ooh, it's got a lot of crap on it. I want to clean that off. Don't want that circulating around in there. Alright, new windage tray. Alright, that's where she goes. Oh, the pickup tube even comes with a new O-ring. I like that one better, so we're going to keep that one. Put this one back in our gasket kit. Yes, that's what I was looking for. Oil pan bolts. Alright, I think it makes things so much easier when you got all the right parts. You're ready to go. Get a little oil on the end of this guy, so it'll slide right in. Nothing in there. Cool, 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 cool. All right. These bolts back in. Keep this windage tray for another day, and this other pickup tube for another application. Somewhere down the road, I'm sure we'll need it. Torque to spec, 1 ooga dooga. All right. I'm gonna have to look it up to see exactly what kind of pan this is, so I don't look like a Ford guy when I go to the car meets and they ask me, "Oh, what'd you put in here?" I know it's a truck engine. You can tell by the high-rise intake manifold and the deep pan, but I don't know what this pan is. So I don't want to look like the stupids trying to figure that out, you know? You know? Woo, that almost dropped in the engine. Man, oh man. All right, that's back on. Make sure we're all clean still here. Man, my gut tells me to put a little RTV on these edges here because I feel like this timing cover is shifted down. All right, here's what we'll do. Put the pan on, pull this timing cover off, replace that gasket, put the timing cover back on so it's flush. Deal. Little note on top of this oil pan here that says oil pan alignment and torque critical, see service manual. Trying to tell me how to live my life. Now there's one thing I didn't check before I put this pan back on. I didn't check the thrust on the crank, but I'm not getting that deep into it. Everything else looked really tight, and I'm fairly certain that this didn't have more than the factory horsepower to it, and any issues with shoving that crank forward and or back into the converter, so on and so forth. So I think we'll be all right. So I'm gonna hit this to the torque. I'm gonna clean up the front and put that timing cover gasket on and change out that O-ring for the crank, which actually looks real nice. I still have all kinds of black crap everywhere in here from that burnout. It's just on everything and everything I touch, and it doesn't wash off very well, so it's like just on everything. It's almost like hydrophobic too. Water just doesn't do anything to it. Got to use the Dawn to get it off. This water pump gasket's really on there. All right, just going around taking off the grime that used to sit around the gasket itself. Ensure that it sits flush. Making sure that I don't push any of this stuff into this timing chain cavity. Always throw a little bit of grease inside the seal here, that way you don't burn it up when you start it up. I'm going to give this timing cover and gasket a little upward force to seat it down. Actually, spin it over so I can give it downward force. It's easier that way. That way it's seated and the gasket is seated. All right, that is that. Let's put this water pump on here. Water pump spins nice and free. Okay, so the story about having all the parts starting to fall apart. Missing bolts, lots of bolts. We'll have to get some new ones. Play this one by ear. Let's take off these clamps, get rid of this old hoses that were cut off from the junkyard. Also ordered up some knock sensors. We gotta go pick those up. We're gonna change out this gasket on the valley cover as well. Ooh. 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 I changed out that idler pullet. She don't sound too healthy. Curious why a couple of those are loose. Ooh, that one looks bad. All right, that all cleaned out. All right, get a little Earl on the inside of these, just so they slide over nice and easy. All up in there. There you go. You're disgusting. There we go. Boop. Right in there. All right, we're going to change out these little gaskets on the steam port just because we already got it off and it's easy. It will not fight all the things that you can avoid, you know? Get all this in there and be like, oh, there's a leak. It's the worst, especially from something we could have prevented. Oh, all righty then. Oh, all righty then. Those steam port gaskies. Get these guys out of here. Alrighty then. Okay, I think we can attempt to stab the engine. I actually want to hang it up and change this rear main as well, but I think we can get after it now. Down in there. Now I'm going to throw in this kit. We got some motor mounts that came with this thing as far as like a kit. So we're going to put those in. I'm going to paint the valve covers, get it all cleaned up, and then we'll start wiring all this stuff. But that's all going to happen in the next episode. Sorry to leave you hanging again. But stay tuned. The next episode, like I said, we're going to do all the rest of this stuff and get it fired up and get it running. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe so you can see this thing out on the road, towing some stuff around, picking up some parts.